Right, it's a huge day. It's one of the reasons a lot of us live in Montana, and I think just in background, we've got as high a participation per capita in Montana as any state in the nation. And interestingly, female participation, both in hunting and our hunter and bow hunter education classes, is just going off the charts, Peter. That's really good news. A lot more women are out there hunting, a lot of them on their own, but that's really good news. I think, though, to get started, you need to have permission to hunt on private land, and that's something that we really encourage people to get taken care of as quick as possible. And the reason, of course, Peter, is that the majority of our deer occur on private land, both mule deer and whitetail, and also more than half of our elk do. So people need to develop a relationship, treat the land with respect, follow the ranch or the farm rules, and thank landowners. But yeah, gosh, Peter, it's a special time of year, and just a little bit of background if you're interested. We have probably mule deer doing good. They're bouncing back, as are whitetail, but we've probably got over 300,000 mule deer in Montana now, over 200,000 whitetail, and potentially on opening day there'll be 150 to 160,000 hunters out there. We know that about 150,000 people hunt deer every year, and somewhere around 114,000 people hunt elk, and they spend a ton of time. Elk hunters will spend 1 million days. I think it's just fascinating. So that's really, there's an economic impact. Deer hunters generate about $150 million for Montana's economy, and elk hunters about $140 million, Peter. It's a big deal and a fun deal.
Now, what about being safe out there?
Well, of course, the rules of the road as far as hunter education, be sure of your target and beyond, treat every gun as if it's loaded, and those are really important things to remember. And there will be a considerable number of people out there, so you need to be aware what you're shooting at and what's behind it. You need to wear hunter orange, and those are the big things, Peter. Just really, really be careful about checking your rifle before you get into your vehicle, checking it at all times. We don't want a tragedy, and those are the big things. Mostly gun safety. That's the big deal.
Now, what is the actual time when we can first start heading out and take our first shot?
Half hour before sunrise until a half hour after sunset.
Okay, and how long does the season last, Ron?
Goes to the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and that's for the general deer and elk season. And then, as you've heard, Peter, we do have shoulder seasons for elk that'll begin immediately in 43 hunting districts in Montana. All
right, how about wolves?
Well, you got to have a permit or a license, and that was my phone, by the way. That's the call on my phone is an elk bugle.
I love that. That's awesome.
Sorry for that.
That'll get your attention.
What was the question again?
Yeah. What about wolf season?
Well, wolf season's open, and trappers can take up to 5 wolves. Hunters can take up a total of 5, hunting and trapping combined. Hunters can take 5. You have to have a license for each wolf you take as a hunter. A trapper can take 5 with a trapping license. That season runs past the big game season, so they've got, till after the first of the year to hunt wolves.